doing a different kind of video. This one is a get ready with me slash mixed girl tag. So while I'm getting ready, I'm answering the questions from the mixed girl tag. I was tagged by my friend Stephanie Nadia here on YouTube. I will link her channel down below, so be sure to go check out hers. She's mixed with something different than me. She is Trinidadian and Ecuadorian. Sorry if I was wrong. Anyway, so I will also tag some friends down below who may want to answer the questions to this tag. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this format of a video. It was really hard to talk and do my makeup at the same time, but combining the two was kind of challenging. I had a really great time like filming it and it was really fun, but yeah, let me know if you want to see more of these or not. And yeah, so let's just get right into the tag. And I had just put moisturizer on my face. This is the Humble and Labby Restorative Daily Moisturizer. I just got these in the mail, so I don't know if any of you guys have used that. Let me know in the comments down below, but I'm still trying it out and I'll do like a full review once I am finished. But let's get started with the tag. So what are you mixed with? My mom is from the Philippines, and you know, they already have like some mixes, like different types of Asian as well as Spanish. My great grandfather was part Castilian Spanish, and then my dad my dad died when I was 7. My dad was African American. I'm shaking this if you're wondering. My dad, his family, they are African American and some other things. I was actually able to trace back my family history. Like there's like a whole thing, like books and stuff written about my family, all the way back to the late 1500s. To the very first settler that came over here with the last name Timberlake from England. So that is that, and there's some other stuff in there too, Native American and African American. I actually want to do, I'm really into genetics and just DNA and genealogy in general, and so there is there's a test that you can take, and now girls can take it. It used to only be that boys could take it, so I was gonna try to swab my brother, because you have to like swab the inside of your mouth for the DNA, and then you send it off, and then it tells you what percentage of what you are. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll probably make a video on it, because it takes like 6 weeks. Like you send it off in this little kit, like you swab your mouth, send it off in a kit, and then they will send it back to you, and they'll say that you're 12%, you know, from Eastern Europe or something, and then you're 30%, you know, African from this region, like Cameroon or whatever. It's really pretty cool, and I want to do it, and it's only like $100, and sometimes you can get a code and make it even less than that. So I will see if I can find that link and put it down below. But yeah, long answer to the first question, but that's what I am. Question number 2, what ethnicity have you often been mistaken for? What ethnicity have I often been mistaken for? I don't know that there is one. I feel like people, they generally will just ask, like, what are you? What are you mixed with? That's usually what happens, is I don't really, like, if I ask them, they would say, well, black and some type of Asian, but very few people can pinpoint Filipino. I don't know why, because I feel like Filipino features are different than like Japanese features, which are different than Korean features, etc. But you know, I know that it's hard for people to distinguish sometimes if you're not around those types of ethnic groups. So yeah, I have, I guess, been mistaken for, I don't know. So when they will guess like the Asian, sometimes the Asian will be wrong, but for the most part, I think they can pretty much figure out that it's some type of black and some type of Asian. Question number 3, is your hair curly or straight? My hair is curly. Question number 4, was coming from different backgrounds challenging growing up? My father was in the Air Force, and so I lived off of the military base for a very long time growing up, until I was pretty much most of my childhood, until I was like in high school, until I was like a junior in high school. And so I feel like growing up off of a military base, there's a lot of different types of ethnicities, a lot of, especially interracial type of marriages. I grew up with a lot of different types of people. I didn't really feel out of place because I felt like it was like the norm. So that was pretty much that. I don't feel like it was difficult or challenging. I did live in the Philippines for a couple of years when I was younger. From the time I was like 8 to the time I was 10, I was in the Philippines, and that was a little more challenging than usual because there weren't a ton of mixed kids. But when I was going to school, there weren't really a ton, even though I still lived off of a military base. There just weren't a ton of people, I guess. But especially when I would go visit like my grandparents who lived like more in like a provincial area, that was a little bit more challenging. But I can remember one time that somebody had said something, I can't even really remember what the comment was, but it was pretty racist. I remember it being racist, and I remember being offended, and I remember slapping him in the face. And I was probably like 8, maybe 9. So there's that. Number 5, which backgrounds do you embrace most? I don't know that there's one particular background because I mean, if I was just to choose like 2, like obviously like my dad would be black and my mom would be Filipino, but I feel like that is a disservice to, the rest of my ancestry. I mean, I grew up with my mom. I told you my dad died when I was 7. So I grew up with my mom mostly and a lot of Filipino people. So I speak 2 Filipino languages and I have a lot of Filipino friends, but I wouldn't say that I identify with that culture more. That just is who I've been around. I was very curious about just history. I love history, and so obviously that's why I love genealogy. So I don't want to say that I identify with one more than the other. I say that I'm equally both, and I'm equally proud of, I'm equally proud of all that. So yeah, I think that the answer to that question in short would be no. I realize it's really hard to talk and do your makeup at the same time, so this is like all kinds of out of order. Number 6, have you ever been teased for being different? I think I answered that question. There was only that one time that I feel like I can remember. There may have been another time when I was like a kid. Nothing traumatic. I think I was mostly teased for my hair. And not that they teased me, but I would have kids in school that would pull my hair because I always had really long hair. And I'm gonna sound like a really violent person, but I remember that there was somebody in my 1st grade class who sat behind me, and he was a boy, and he would always pull my hair, and I remember smacking him too. Like, obviously I, was very quick-handed growing up, and I don't know why. Like, it sounds like I'm such a violent person, and I'm really not. It's just that, why are you touching me? I think that was sort of my philosophy is please stop touching me and please stop touching my hair, because why are you bothering me? Like, I'm trying to learn, and you are disrupting my learning process. And so he got smacked. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop talking when I do my eyeliner because I know that there's no way that I'm gonna be able to do my eyeliner and talk at the same time. So give me a sec. I'm on, have you ever been ashamed of being biracial? The answer is no. I've never been ashamed of being biracial. And I know that there are some people who really struggle with this, and it makes me feel so sad because, you're struggling with essentially who God made you to be, and that's horrible. And I know that there are some people who struggle with that just a lot, like whether you are tall or short or fat or skinny or biracial or girl or boy or whatever. Like, there are people who really struggle with being who they are, and I really feel for those people because I know that life is harder than it needs to be. When you love yourself, it just makes life a little easier. And so to those people who do struggle, I would say I would seek out help, because there are people out there who, I talk to people all the time. There are people out there who really do want to help and who are willing to help, and who would love to help you sort of get through those issues. Do you feel being mixed has its benefits? I do. I mean, I don't want to say that, not being mixed is a disadvantage, because we are living in 2014. So if you ever wanted to learn about different cultures, like, the Google is your friend. But when you But when you are those cultures, like those cultures make up who you are, then, you know, most people are more inclined to seek those out, learn about them. Like I really wanted to study, you know, African American history and African American literature and Filipino history and those things. I can't really understand Filipino literature because although I speak Tagalog, like the literature that's written, it's not like, it's very, very deep. It's almost like Shakespeare. Like, if, you know, most people, we speak English, but we read Shakespeare and we're like, what the heck are you saying? Well, that's how the books and stuff are written. So I can't really get down with that too much, but you know, just the food and the people and all those things. Like, I do think that because it's a part of who I am, I obviously am going to embrace that a little bit more, and I'm going to want to know more about it, and I'm going to want to travel to those countries. Whereas because my family is not from Bulgaria, for example, like I don't really have a strong desire to travel to that region. What's the next question? I feel like I'm almost done, and I'm not even almost done with my makeup. What makes being biracial a beautiful thing? I feel like I kind of already answered that, but I guess to elaborate a little bit more, I would say I think the coming together of cultures is really beautiful. I think that we fight so often, like, you know, we fight over land and we fight over territory. When there are cultural differences that can often cause tension amongst countries, but for some reason two people, like two individual people from those same different countries, can come together and love one another so much that they produce, you know, a child. I think that that's really beautiful about just ethnicities in general and people coming together. I think that that's really cool. Advice to someone who struggles with their multiracial identity. I think I talked a little bit about this, but just to further expand, like, no matter what anyone says, and I know that there are people out there who did not have, you know, the best of childhoods growing up because they were multiracial. I know there are some people out there who got teased. They may have lived in a part of the world or a part of the country where being multiracial is not as widely accepted. So my advice to them would be, one, know that you were created for a purpose, that you are not an accident in the grand design of eternity. You are not here for no reason. There's something that you have that someone else does not have. There's something that you are destined to do, and you are destined to be great, and you are beautiful no matter what anybody says. I hope, my hope is that that hits home with some people who are struggling with their identity and confused as to why they're here. If you are confused, then I would say seek out the reason why you were created. Seek out what special talents and what special gifts you have. And even if you grew up in an environment where people, you know, speak ill of who you are or make fun of you, just know that there is equally a place where you are loved and wanted. And so seek out that place. And family doesn't always necessarily mean that it has to be blood. Family can be your friends or your church or your college roommates or whatever the case is, that there is a place out there where you are loved and you are meant to be loved. And I know that that can be so difficult when we've just been kicked while we're down and people have just treated us so badly, but on the other side of all of the bad stuff, there is something really, really beautiful. So if you can just keep chugging and keep pulling along, and if you need encouragement, I am only a tweet away. So tweet me, send me an email, whatever. I will tell you every day, if you need me to, that you are beautiful and that you are loved and that I love you. So what else can we talk about here? So if you don't follow me on Twitter or Facebook, then you didn't see that I went to the chiropractor the other day because I was having some back pain, and I used to go to the chiropractor like 2 or 3 times a week because I had like a upper back neck problem, but I had to go for a completely different reason. One, I really love my chiropractor's office because they're like family. Like, you go in and they're like, hey, and they want to like hug you, and it's just great. So I wish that all doctors' offices were that way, and they're not. But that's why I try to do everything I possibly can at my chiropractor's office. Like, I can get like a physical there and like my blood tests and, you know, all that good stuff. I try to get done there because they're just so inviting. Like, they make you feel like they really want to get you healthy. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I haven't been for a while, probably like 6 to 8 months, because my back was you know, I was doing my exercises, my back was starting to feel better, but then I had another issue like in my mid back. So I went to the chiropractor and yeah, saw them. It was exciting. And then they told me that I had 2 dislocated ribs. First of all, who has 2 dislocated ribs? Like, how the heck did that happen? That was like question number 1. They were asking me like, did you have trauma? Like, did you fall? And I was like, no. And they were like, okay, well that's strange, because usually where my ribs were dislocated and how they were dislocated is usually a result of trauma, and I had none of that. The culprit in my mind is from carrying a very, very large bag, and the way that I sling it on my back is I kind of just go bloop. So I think from doing this motion with the bag, that's how I dislocated 2 ribs that are right back here. I still run every day or work out every day and do all those things, so they were pretty surprised at how I was going on. So basically all he did was he just popped them back into place, and then I was almost as good as new. Okay guys, so that's it. I took my hair down and now I can go and get dressed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun. It was hard to like talk and do makeup at the same time. It was hard for me to do, but I really enjoyed it. So it was like I could talk to you guys while I do my makeup, and like I'm talking to friends. And anyway, let me know in the comments down below if you liked that sort of video or not, whatever. If not, I won't do any more. If you do, then I'll try to do more. So I hope you guys are having a really, really awesome day. Take care, and I'll see you next time.